They dragged her through the aisle like a criminal, phones recording, whispers hissing through the cabin. The flight attendant's voice cut sharp. "You people never belong in first class." The woman they humiliated said nothing, only stared forward, her silence heavier than any scream. Then, as the plane steadied midair, her phone buzzed once, and the flight changed forever. Screens froze, badges locked, and a calm voice from her device said, "Executive control active." In that instant, the crew realized the truth. The woman they'd dragged out didn't just own a ticket. She owned the entire airline. "You people never belong in first class," the words sliced through the cabin. Phones lifted. Gasps spread. But the woman in seat 1A didn't blink. Amara Lewis sat still, her calm radiating a power that needed no introduction. She had boarded quietly, no entourage, no hint of the empire she owned, just to see how her airline treated those who looked invisible. Now she had her answer. The lead attendant. Nicole stepped forward, tablet in hand, wearing a smile sharp enough to cut. "Ma'am, this section is for verified premium passengers." Amara's tone was soft, precise. "Then verify." Nicole's smile twitched. "Your ticket was reassigned." It wasn't. The green checkmark at the scanner had flashed moments earlier. But prejudice never checks receipts. It just enforces comfort zones. "Security," Nicole said, waving over two officers. "Remove her." One officer hesitated. "What's the reason?" Nicole didn't flinch. "Disruptive passenger." The words dropped like a gavel. The passenger's silence was approval disguised as politeness. Cameras rose higher. Amara inhaled once. "Disruptive?" she said quietly. "No, just disturbing your illusion." Nicole folded her arms. "Move before I make it worse." "Worse for whom?" Amara asked. The captain emerged, tall, practiced authority in motion. "I'm Captain Pierce. This flight carries important guests. Please take your seat in economy." Amara's voice was steady. "Captain, I'm one of those guests. You just don't recognize me yet." Pierce's tone hardened. "If you won't comply, we'll remove you." Amara tapped her phone. A soft chime echoed, Protocol Scowy 6 initiated. Nicole's tablet froze mid-command. The words, "internal audit in progress," flashed across the screen. "What the—" Nicole stammered. A passenger whispered, "Did she just hack the system?" Amara rose slowly. "No, I built it." Nicole's laugh cracked. "You're bluffing." A calm voice echoed from Amara's phone. "This is Executive Control, Aero Global Holdings. We are monitoring an in-flight discrimination report. Continue." The cabin fell silent. The captain's posture deflated. The attendants froze. The two officers glanced at each other, uncertain whether to salute or step back. Amara's gaze swept the cabin. "You called security on your CEO. Congratulations, you've just audited yourselves." The captain's face turned white. You're Amara Lewis?" She nodded. "And you've just given me a first-hand look at how this company treats its passengers." Nicole's fingers trembled. "It was a misunderstanding." "No," Amara cut in. "It was instinct. And instinct reveals truth." The crew's devices went dark. Red banners flashed. "Access revoked." "Command locked." "System malfunction," Nicole whispered. Amara's tone was razor-sharp calm. "That's accountability. Not malfunction." From row 3, a trembling voice spoke up. It was Mia, the young trainee. I scanned her ticket. It was valid. Nicole turned, venom rising. "You're out of line." "I'm in line with the truth," Mia said. The captain's radio hissed with static, dead signal. The hierarchy had collapsed. Amara turned to the passengers. "You may continue filming, but understand this isn't drama. It's documentation." Then to the captain. "Fly the plane?" "Captain, safely. I'll handle everything else." He nodded once. Defeated. The aircraft climbed through the clouds, but the silence was heavier than gravity. Nicole sat rigid in her jump seat, eyes glassy. The murmurs around her carried judgment. "That's her airline," someone whispered. They dragged their own CEO. Hours later, turbulence hit. Gasps filled the air. The cabin trembled. Then came a calm, familiar voice over the intercom. "This is Captain Lewis. We'll be through this shortly." The turbulence steadied. But no one in that cabin would ever feel steady again. When the wheels touched down in Los Angeles, no one stood. They all waited for her. A suited man stepped aboard. Miss Lewis, he said. Corporate has completed the compliance review. Crew suspended, effective immediately. Good, Amara said. Start the retraining. No one wears this logo until they understand the people they serve. Mia approached, hesitant. I should have spoken sooner, she whispered. You just did, Amara said softly. That's how change begins. Nicole rose, voice brittle. You humiliated me in front of everyone. Justice doesn't humiliate, Amara replied. It teaches. Outside, the jet bridge glowed with cameras. A reporter shouted, Miss Lewis, was this staged? Amara stopped, looked straight into the lens. No, it was a reflection. This is what bias looks like at 39,000 feet. Now, let's see how high integrity can fly. She stepped into the terminal. Passengers followed behind her, not rushing, just standing taller. Something in them had shifted. Inside the executive suite, the board waited, nervous. The chairwoman stood. Miss Lewis, we've suspended the crew and issued a formal apology. Apology is good PR, Amara said. Change is policy. Implement mandatory empathy training across every division. If they can't respect humanity, they can't represent us. Mia hovered near the doorway until Amara gestured her closer. Join us, she said gently. This began with your courage. It should end with your voice. Mia stepped forward, trembling but resolute. Silence protects power. I won't be silent again, Amara nodded. Then you're exactly who this company needs. Hours later, the room emptied. Amara stood alone before the window, the runway glowing beneath a deep violet sky. Jets lifted one by one, streaks of light cutting through darkness. Mia returned quietly, 2 coffees in hand. You haven't rested, she said. Rest comes later, Amara replied. Change doesn't. When you pressed that button, Mia asked softly, did you know what would happen? Amara smiled faintly. No one ever knows when justice will arrive. You just make sure it has a seat when it does. Outside, another aircraft thundered into the clouds. The light flickered across Amara's face. Gold, strong, unbending. They tried to drag me down, she whispered. But I was never meant to land. And as she turned toward the door, her reflection vanished into the glass, leaving behind not a CEO, not a victim, but a force. A living reminder that power built on truth doesn't shout to be seen. It simply rises and makes the world look up.